Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are in a new chapter and we're gonna follow up our latest session on Unreal Engine shaders by creating our master material and material instance for this wood floor. But we are gonna combine this with other techniques that may not be that much useful for this specific material, but for others they will. So as you can see, there are some extra parameters that they weren't here the last time, and that's what we're gonna be walking into today. So this is gonna be how to change the intensity of our normal, the normal detail, how to add this normal detail, and the same goes with the roughness detail. So as you can see here, there's a change, a really serious change of our wood floor. But before jumping to this, we need to see how did we do this. Now, as you can see here, the changes we have done. But let's go all over this. Let's start from scratch. Yes, so you can actually see how this is done. Let me just delete this. Yes. So if we want to change the intensity of the normal, we need to edit the information coming out from this normal map. Now, changing the normal intensity is something that we can do every single day in shader work. So it's really useful to have a tool for this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a material function. Now, let me show you what is a material function. If you look for blend, angle, correct normals, these nodes that we're gonna be using later, yes, this node which has this kind of blue color on top where you can actually get in, well, this is basically what it looks like a material function. It's a node that we can build ourselves and then we can reuse later. Now I have already created mine, but let's go over it again. So here it's mine. So we're gonna right click in here, yes, come here to the material, and I'm gonna use here material function, to which I'm gonna name this MF class. Yeah, so this is gonna be MF class. In fact, you know what? Let's change it to rename MF normal class. I'm gonna write. There we go. So it's gonna change the name. Now, the normal map I made for these wood planks is actually not really the best thing to change or try making something like this. So I'm gonna go here in the castle world section and I'm gonna get this normal map here so we can use as testing. So basically every texture we are using is composed by 3 channels, red, green and blue. And each of these channels have a different kind of information. So if I create a multiply with a 1 value, I'm gonna be able to see this. Yes, so I'm gonna start previewing this node and you see this information on the red channel, this one on the green. Yes, let me change the mesh, and you can see this one on the blue as well. No, sorry, my bad. This one on the blue as well. Yes, so from all of these 3 channels, the only one we don't want to touch is the blue one. We want to pick or play around with the red and green, but not the blue. So as you can also see, these channels contain black and white information that we can actually edit. So if I here start to play with this, you're gonna see the higher the number on B, the stronger the intensity it becomes. So I'm gonna delete this. So basically, in other terms, if we want this node to work, we need to change the intensity of red and green, yes, to something higher in order to create a new intensity for our normal map. So I'm gonna create 2 multiplies and I'm gonna plug them in here. And what I'm going to use is a scalar parameter, yes, that is going to be the same in both of them to control this. Now, there's a problem. So we have an output result here that is gonna be the output of our node that has only 1 input. And right now we have 1, 2 channels and 3, because remember, the normal map is the composition of the 3 channels, and right now we have them split. What can we do? So what we are going to do is we're going to use another node called append many. This way, what we're going to do is we're going to blend all of the channels we are changing in here into one single image again. So I'm going to put the red here, the green here, and the blue here. Yeah, and in here I'm going to take the RGB. That should be this one. So I'm gonna start to preview this node right now. You see, the normal mode is looking good, but let's try and pump it up to 4. You see that now it's more intense than before, and the more I pump it up, the more intensity it takes. Yeah. So this is working really well right now. But again, we have one problem. This is a node that we are supposed to use in every single material. So let's say I save this right now, get back here, go to where material function was, normal class intensity, there we go. And I go to master material and I drop this here. No, sorry, this one. So what you can see right now is that this one has no input, just because we haven't created any of them. So we have to go back and we have to change this. This texture, yes, is something that we are using for this specific case just to test out our creation. But in other projects, we may not use the same texture. So what we need to do is write input, and you're gonna find the function input node. Yes, it works like basically an input. So here we have or find another problem. Let's say I plug this, yes, into the preview. Save this, go back to my master material. Now my material function has an input, but there's another problem. This input only has one output, yes, where it blends all the channel information. So the only thing it's getting in is the red, green, and blue. And it would be a waste of time, or let's say of procedures, to actually have 3 inputs, just one for each channel. So we need to find a way to actually take the information for the RGB here, yes, and break it down into parts. And lucky us, there is a way for it. So we can come here and create a component mask. Component mask will allow us to actually split channel into different parts. So let's say now I start previewing this node. Yes, there we are seeing red and green combined. This is just red, and this is just green. So it works. So I'm gonna set this to red. Yes. This one to green. And a third one to blue. There we go. Pull all of these here and start replacing. So red, green, and blue. Yes. Now we have them all. So I'm gonna go back here to my output result and start previewing node. There we go. So yeah, basically now we have this. So we are finding here 2 new problems. So first problem would be that our master material, yes, here, has only one input for the type of textures we want to use. And the name is not the one we want, but we're going to go back to that later. The other problem is choosing how much intensity we want to use. Same happens here as it happened with the type of texture we're inputting. We can't get inside the material function every time we want to change this, and we want this to be actually easy to use. So we need to do something to expose this. So what we're going to do, we're going to come here to input vector 3, copy this and paste it. And to the left on the parameter sections, you're going to find this one, the input type. And we are changing to input scalar. That means that it's only going to take scalar parameters, yes, as inputs. And that's exactly what we want. We are also going to click on use preview values default because we want this to be our preview value. So every time we connect something, we have some feedback on it as well to see that it's actually working. We are not going to do the same with this one because it's not something we're going to use. In fact, we're going to delete this because we are not going to be using it anymore. So let's see. We have our 2 inputs. Yes. We are changing the information here and we have our output. What we are missing is the order and name of these inputs. So see why? Because here we have input B3, input S. Yes. So for someone like me that knows about these technicalities, understands that this is a vector 3 and this is a scalar. But for someone that maybe is not that technical, it's not going to be comprehensive. So we need to change this. So we're going to come here and we're going to change the name to normal map. And we're going to sort priority to 1. And in here, we're going to set the name to normal. No, let's just go for intensity. And set the priority to 2. That should do it for the moment. And we're going to save this. So now if I go back here, yes, you're going to see that now we have everything we need. We have our normal map input and our intensity. And just in case, let's test if this actually works. So I'm going to input again, same texture as before, but right now in here. Place this here. Preview the node in the plane. And I'm going to do scalar parameter 1, 2, 6, and 9, and it's working just fine. Yeah, so this is actually working. So this is looking really good. So we're gonna put this in here. I'm gonna stop previewing this node, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the expose parameter of the scalar value, and we're gonna set this to normal intensity. There we go, with a default value of 1. Yes, and plug this in. And back to our normal. So let me save this and go to my material instance. So now my material instance only has normal. Yes, because we haven't exposed the rest of the things, and also because we haven't assigned any kind of group. So this one, our normal map should be our, let's say, order of priority number 1. So this one should be inside the normal group and be priority 2. Now, we have already just created how to change, let's say, or how to increase the intensity of our normal map. And now we're going to do something else. We're going to add details to our material by using normal details. And that's what we are going to use for the blend angle correct normals. Now, for this case in particular, what I'm going to do, yes, I've downloaded from Quixel different kind of wood noises. Yes, so in here I have 2. I think I will be using this one. Yeah, I will be using this one. Not in here, but in my master materials, just to combine both of them. Now I'm gonna just go back to our tiling section here, just because I want to copy this. Yes, here. And again, this one here. I'm gonna do this. And this is pretty much straightforward. We're gonna set the actual base normal here and the additional normal here. Yes, and we're gonna plug this in as well. Yes, and the normal is gonna blend as this in here as well. Save this so you can actually see it. But right now we are not going to be able to see the difference because I need to switch between having it and not having it, which is what we're going to do next. But first, what we need to do is copy this material function we created. Yes, paste it here. Let's just save some time. Get this here and then here. Now, we will not always want to use, yes, our detail normal. And that's really important that we understand that, because everything we do in a shader is not just because we have to do it, it's because there's a function for it. We want to do it because there's going to be a use for it. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to look for a switch, and specifically to the static switch parameter, to which we're going to write this as normal, no, detail normal. If the detail normal is true, we are going to use the blend angle corrected normals result. Now, if the detail normal is false, we're going to use the material function normal class. Yeah, so I'm going to put this here and this one here. And by default, the value is going to be false. Yes, because we don't want this to use it. Yes. No, sorry. I have to turn it off. There we go. Don't click this. It should be default value. It should be unclick. So it's false. So by default, we're going to have this. And if we apply it, it's just going to change. So now we need to expose these parameters, yes, into a more specific order. So first off, we have order 1 here on our normal maps, order 2. So this should be in our normal group in order 3. Yeah. So we're gonna get back here. Yes, now. So now that we have activated the detail normals, we want to expose this to change this. So normal detail map. And we're going to set this to, again, here normal. Last node was 3. So this one's going to be 4. Great. Then comes the tiling, comment parameter, normal detail slash tiling. Yes. Normal. And this is number 5. And finally, normal detail strength, intensity. So convert to parameter. There we go. Normal detail intensity, and this should be 6. So now if I save this, yes, and get back to Unreal Engine, yes, you're gonna see that if I go to my material instance, now I can activate my detail normal and create a huge change. So I'm gonna increase the intensity first for you to actually see this. Without the intensity pulling up, we are not gonna be able to see much of this because the normal map I picked is actually quite soft. So let's unplug it, and you're gonna see here the details of it. Mostly in this area you can actually see them because it's where you're getting the reflections from here. But let's try to see. See how now it's kind of soft, but if I plug this in again, it has like more sharp details. And I can change the tiling of this as well. Just gonna tile and tile as much as you want. There we go. So I'm gonna leave it on 1 with an intensity. Okay, let's see if the other camera can pick this up better. Yeah, here, this area you can see it. So if I pull this into 1, it's gonna be really soft. 0, it's just gonna have nothing. And 3, you're gonna have a really strong detail there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at 2. Now, we can do this with several other things, yes, like for example, the roughness. So I really like adding roughness details to this area. So I'm gonna just give you a short show of how to actually do it. So in this case, what I did is I repeated some of the steps which we just made. So first I create another path on my roughness, yes, with its own tiling, as we did with the detail normal map, and I named this detail roughness. Now, this is going to allow us to add some details, yes, based in imperfection from Quixel Megascan maps, where we can actually make changes on the roughness surface of our material without having to affect any other parts of it as well. We are going to copy exactly the same process. You can see here we have the tiling, yes, that is individual to this one. Then we have a power as well with the detail roughness intensity. We're not going to use this node. And what is different from the other one is that we are going to blend this all together with an add, because we're trying to create roughness variation. That means we want to add information from one map to the other in grayscale, so it identifies some parts like dirt, and as well using the switch parameter to make a difference. So right now here, yes, I don't have unplug it, but let's change this to 1 so you can actually see the result of it. As you can see here, it changed completely our material. Now the more I pull this up, the less, let's say, dirt there will be. Yes, there you can see it better. See how this is actually affecting our surface? It's just, I'm trying to find a really nice angle for the camera for you to. Now you can see how much intensity we can control. And again, we can plug and unplug this as we want, just to take this to what it should be before. Yeah. So guys, first for coming today. I hope this video was useful for you, and I'll see you next time.